Yeah. What we didn't realize, we kept making him dance around the circle, but one half of the studio was covered with light equipment. In the mirrors, we could see Tushar with his boom, me following along like for whatever reason. And those were like critical expressions on Malhar's face, which we needed.
Am I the only person who knows that it's a feature?
No, including us, we thought it was going to be a short film. It was not like we deluded a cast and crew.
Malhar would actually just park the rickshaw and be like, okay, I guess the scene is
over.
done.
Yeah.
And then we used to put Tushar's sound in one ear and then play the clip in one, and then kind of asynchronously had to judge a lot of things.
Again, on the tiny viewfinder.
Yeah.
It's rolling, ka?
It's rolling.
आप पण rolling है का?
हाँ.
Rolling.
Okay.
Cool. But I think for me, what was surprising was the serialness of the technical process. So first you need to lock the edit, then the sound, then the color. Because at every stage, I felt like the whole thing changed, and I wished I could go back to edit and then add something more visually. Because the sound added a different layer that I didn't know. Color added a whole different layer. So that was a challenge for me because it could only be done serially like this.
Correct.
How many times do you think you've watched the whole film?
You will compare it with the competition.
A lot of times. We have watched it a lot of
But you haven't sat like start to end watch it, no?
I have.
Actually, you have. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Doing the final reviews.
During the final reviews also, and before like at the premix level, I did watch it twice, and then we did the mix. After the mix was done, we did a couple of round of corrections. So you guys used to sit and I used to be outside.
Correct,
no?
correct.
Yeah.
So that happened, and after that, I watched it a couple of times, and then the whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen it. My estimate is probably like 110 times.
Nice.
Probably.
Could be.
No. Like I think that is a calculated estimate. It's not not a number. But it's interesting. I think like you guys are watching it to review the technical feedback, which I lost objectivity on long time ago. What's interesting is every time I watch now with a new audience, I like feel like it's a different movie. That's been a unique experience for me.
Yeah.
So you guys want to talk about how you guys got involved in the project? Then we can go into we're starting backwards of how many times you've seen the film now. Let's try to go back to the genesis of.
Yeah, I just got a random text from Ronak, and he was like, "There's this short film that is happening." And I was like, okay.
Am I the only person who knows that it's a feature and everybody was expecting
No,
a short
including
film?
us, we thought it was going to be a short film. It was not like we deluded a cast
First
and
time
crew.
he called me was also for a short film.
Yeah.
And then during the shoot itself, we were discussing one day, and I was just like, bro, मला वाटतं थोडंसं duration वाढतंय आता. Like, yeah, we are estimating now 45 minutes. 45 to 50 minutes is what we are estimating now. Like, okay, fine. Still under control. Like, okay, cool. And then towards the end of the shoot, I remember almost the last few days of the shoot, we were like, this is a feature. Now confirmed. The amount of data we have.
Yeah. No, I think the whole rule of like 1 page per script, page of a script, I think firstly doesn't translate through language, and secondly, I think that depends on the experience of the screenwriter as well. Like I think a bunch of what we created was through, like, for example, the shots of Pune and stuff. That's not like exactly outlined in the script, or even the dance stuff. So I think that changed a lot.
Because I remember the length increased per call. So first call was Ronak, it was short. Then he called me, it became a little bit longer.
It was a long shot. I remember calling it a long shot to many people.
No, but by the time we got Aman on board, who was Tushar's roommate at the time, it was already a feature. We gave him the full scope of it.
And we also had clarity. That it is a feature now.
Yeah.
And that is how things stand.
No, and also like the scope, like we have been ambiguous about the short versus a long. We were also ambiguous about roles people played in the beginning. I'm just like, I guess we need people to make this movie. And as we got together and started like outlining what all is needed, then we figured out, we need an executive producer.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sumedh had taken a 4-day workshop with Umesh Kulkarni, right? How to shoot a short or something. And so he came fully inspired about like, we need to think about like, shot within a shot and geometric shapes. And like all this was the thinking.
A lot of meta.
And then we're like, Then he recruited people from his
Yeah.
class to join.
Yeah.
Some were unsuccessful in sticking around, but some actually stayed. Like
Yeah,
Kedar
yeah,
and
Kedar stayed. Pankaj.
a few other people
Yeah.
got on board. And then, because again, you can see the lack of experience here, we had our DOP on board, we had production, locations, actors. We totally thought sound was an afterthought. That was something that, because Sumedh was friends with Ronak, who
Yeah.
runs Grace Park, we just went to get some feedback and advice from him. And he's like, okay, like, you explained what sync sound is, which is a new concept to us. And he's like, okay, I got you covered. I'll send you my best.
Yeah.
And that's how we got introduced to Tushar. And then
The introduction was went along like he's an FTI guy. He's done some work before, and he knows how to, like, he's a troubleshooter or something kind of. And I remember getting on call with this guy also, and he's like, they call me the person who fixes things or something like that. He told me a description. I'm like, cool, bro. You're anyways on board. You don't have to sell yourself to me again.
We don't have, sometimes we have options. Then was like the fact that we had 3 different DOPs for various reasons.
Oh yeah.
So the first one had a family emergency. The second one had to go on an election campaign shoot. And then Sumedh stepped in, and the last couple of days we sort of guerrilla'd it. And like, we thought it was fine, but finally all the
Footage went to Aman.
Came to me.
yeah, like, how did you deal?
Mistakes.
How did you deal with like making it all consistent? Because there were 3 different DOPs with 3 completely different styles of shooting.
Lot of challenges were there. Like firstly, starting from the whole project, the files came to me, the footage came to me, and I'm just scrubbing through it all. I haven't received the XML till then. So while I was seeing the footage, every day is the same clip number and the same. It starts with A001. I'm like, fuck, bro, we are so fucked with this whole project. So so then the XML came, and then it started linking wrong. The whole project was like, it took a lot of time for me to link. Then of course with 3 DOPs, I mean, that wasn't a different challenge though, but like I did not know, of course, what they've shot and what days they've shot. But there were a lot of challenges in the shoot. I think the major part of it was getting the exposure into the auto. Auto is quite small, and the actor also is quite tall.
Yeah.
So it almost like he's almost touching the auto's head. So I think for the DOPs also it might have been a challenge. So why like the exposures weren't there.
Yeah.
So I had to pull the footage quite a lot. Usme the noise was coming, so we had to compensate. Then skin was losing texture, skin was losing a lot of color. So I had to also balance that. So all of this was like a big challenge majorly. But they were quite fun. Sequences also, the climax sequence is quite fun. Different colors are there. Yeah, all in all, it was quite challenging though. But
Just the rickshaw, just a comment on that, you would really appreciate this. You're editing the testimonial videos, right?
Yeah.
And there's one entire section dedicated to how the person was impressed with the lighting in the
In the
auto.
rickshaw.
So that's like, so you're clearly all that hard work was noticed by one person at least.
yeah, because I think the season also that this film has been shot was quite cloudy. And I think it
was actually
some
sunny.
parts of
It was peak
some parts of
summer.
it was cloudy.
Then
and
the
some
street
parts
that we were shooting on had a lot of tree
Trees
cover.
and
Tree cover.
so they were quite soft light coming in, but suddenly like big sun patch would come in. They had to then compensate, break the clips, put a dissolve, and then all that also has been happening.
Yeah, because every time we passed by, there was like literally shadows going on the everyone's faces. And I remember like seeing the flat versus what Aman created, and it's so different because when you see the dark thing, it could actually be like a night crawler or like a completely different texture of movie. Yeah, it was a very, very different mood itself that the brightness brought to the light.
I mean, to our defense, we did not know what we were shooting in the rickshaw because we did not have an external monitor. For the entire shoot, we were blind to judge the takes. If the acting was on point, if the delivery was on point, if there was anything that was missed, if the lighting was proper. Because, like you said, it was that Nightcrawler footage, just like a fully flat thing, and we are seeing it through a 2.5 inch by 3 inch screen, which
Yeah.
has glare, and we're just holding our head down like this. And this is in the middle of the day.
No, and this is a review
sun.
after the scene is done.
Yeah.
Not even
Yeah.
real time.
Oh yeah, real time. There was a very different kind of review, not accurate. But Saya and I were like in the car ahead of the rickshaw with the back open, and both of us were sitting inside, and we were just like kind of squinting our eyes and trying to figure out, okay, is the dialogue being delivered? And then Malhar would actually just park the rickshaw and be like, okay, I guess the scene is
over.
done.
Yeah.
And then we used to put Tushar's sound in one ear and then play the clip in one, and then kind of asynchronously had to judge a lot of things.
Yeah. Again, on the tiny viewfinder.
Yeah.
So, how was it to record sound in the rickshaw? Like, I know you had to do a lot of the fixing.
Yeah, we had to do a lot of fixing in that. But primarily, what our idea was before we also had this talk, like we wanted to record the character of the auto itself in sync with the dialogues by the characters, because for us the auto was a very important character in the whole film. But we had our own limitations with gear and all that, but we tried to get the right things the right way. At many times I would just have to leave the recorder in the rickshaw itself and just stay behind and chill for some time. When the whole auto used to come back, I used to cut and then review and see. There used to be multiple takes in that, like in the same recording. That was a little bit tough, but then again, it was a very fun crew to work with. So it was just very lighthearted. We had enough time to experiment and do crazy stuff that we wanted to do. So all in all,
was that the hardest thing in terms of sound, or was it a more difficult?
Wasn't actually recording in the room was a little bit tough, because the room itself, the sonic signature of that room is a little bit boxy, and we didn't have enough space for boom to work properly. So that was a little bit tough. But all in all, it was a very normal, fun kind of a shoot. So there wasn't a lot of stress.
I remember Tushar had to yell a lot for silence, because we were in the middle of, like, the set was a set also, and it was part real location. And then there was like offices around and everything, and this is right next to a busy street, and we had to like station multiple people on the road in the parking area just outside where we are shooting. And then Tushar would yell a big silence before we start shooting, and we're hoping everyone continues to stay silent during that time, and something would just
the bikes.
happen. The bikes would come.
Or the pump that just started randomly.
Yeah.
And it was. This is why we've been told we should include sound in pre-production, which is now what we will do in future projects.
Rani screaming and laughing in my ears. Oh my God. She has a loud voice. she laughs very fully, like. It's a very beautiful thing, not to my ears.
Correct.
I had to remind her continuously, you have a mic on, and I have a headphone on my ears.
And shooting in the peak of summer was also like, I don't think in hindsight is 2020, so I don't remember all the hardships as much. But I just remember everyone.
It was the 2 hottest days of in record over like the last 50 years or something in Pune.
Oh my God.
And we like literally got.
We were in the small room and everyone was inside. Oh my God.
No, and those were the rickshaw days. We were out on the streets.
Yes.
Correct. It was quite
also
crazy.
The abandoned building days where shoots were tough, because then we had to carry all this water up.
Yeah,
the abandoned building place was a stealth shoot. And actually before that, I guess even you guys don't know, we were trying to do it on the Tekdi, on Hanuman Tekdi, in one of the abandoned things there, and we tried to go about the ethical, getting permissions and all of that. And almost 2 months we spent trying to get permissions. And then we're like, you know what, if we're anyway not getting permissions, we might as well shoot at this at this location, because it has such a nice vibe and view and everything. But it was, in hindsight, probably a very unsafe decision. Like literally there were holes in the ground.
Trumpets playing in the background.
There were inconveniences, but they were literally like, I could have lost a crew member in that location. And like
stairs themselves were scary.
There were no railings.
Nothing.
Would have been like broken at any point.
Yeah.
Like looking back, the safety precautions were not at par.
Yeah. That was just something you do on your first
Yeah.
project. After that, it's just straight irresponsible.
We started calling things a gorilla shoot, but I mean, you can't just mask everything under
It
that.
went
Yeah.
Amazon forest shoot.
It went quite Amazon forest. Yeah.
Have you been to that location, Aman?
The
It's-
building is torn down, no?
No, it's still
it's still
there.
there.
I
It's
think
in
still there.
litigation.
Somebody told me the building
It's
got torn.
it used to be a hotel with a one of Pune's hottest discos.
Manish used to go there clubbing, he
Yeah.
told me.
Yeah. So there's like this. Let me set the scene. There's a hotel, and outside there's like literally like this dome-like structure, which used to be the disco. So Manish said back in 2011, coming into 2012, he and his friend were kind of high dancing in that disco. And the movie 2012 had come out, where like the world is ending, and the two of them were like in their high state talking about, oh my god, the world's ending. And then Manish returns to this place like whatever 20 years later, and he's like, wow, it's actually like that dystopian vision.
Yeah, it's an UFO basically.
literally a UFO in the
We'll
middle of
leave the name unnamed and the
Yeah.
location undisclosed.
Yes.
My God, the different floors were crazy. Every
Yeah.
floor has its own vibe, I felt. Like,
Yeah, it does.
was,
floor
It
was.
does.
was a dedicated space for some.
Something or the other.
Nefarious activity.
Yeah. So we had to go far enough. Like even on the recce days, I think we went like, okay, lazy people will access the first 3 floors. 4th floor, maybe no one will come. So then I think ours was the 5th or the 6th floor.
Fourth, I think.
Fourth?
Fourth.
4th, okay. Yeah. So, but still, it was quite up there.
And
We had to throw out so many people on the shoot. Like, we used to tell them, okay, no, this is occupied, please.
Oh,
pass."
yeah,
There were
yeah,
people who
yeah.
were there
Yeah.
just to like make out and
What kind of people were there?
Just college students,
College
and
students,
stuff
kids.
like
for
that.
privacy. I mean, I've
Some
heard-
drunkards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Malhar and Nani were also wanting. No?
Yeah, privacy.
dance.
No,
Yeah,
exactly,
correct.
exactly. So it kind of fit that vibe.
Yeah.
We also had to kind of mask some
Obscene.
obscene
Oh,
graffiti.
yeah. Correct. Yeah. Very
That was
obscene.
fun. So Saurabh got some cans and we
Yeah,
sprayed
spray
up the
painted.
place.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging, apart from the rickshaw scenes, to
I think
Fix.
overall film had a lot of reds into the. There were quite red leaks all over the place. Like even skins were catching quite a lot of redness. Maybe because the lighting was such, it was like overly saturated, and sets were also quite red. Like there was background like red hair. The costume was also quite vibrant. Everything was like leaking a lot of color. Also, I think this whole film has been shot on Sony.
Yeah.
So Sony log also catch a lot of reds into the skins and everything. So compensating the reds and compensating the colors, keeping the whole tone one tone and keeping consistency throughout was the most difficult challenge in the film. Other than that, it was quite fun. Like you guys had a lot of different scenes. You had a lot of different landscapes, different situations. So it was quite fun, the whole film, to color grade that.
Yeah.
Usually you don't get that many
Variations
of locations and even costumes, setups. So,
But to that point, like he made everything look like a postcard, and that's actually
Yeah.
when Manish and I were conceptualizing this. We're like, we
Yeah.
should actually have postcards for references, and I felt like after Aman was done with coloring it, literally every different variation looked like its own, like a painting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from the way that it was being shot and imagined, and then to see sitting in Aman's room in Bombay, watching
Oh my
it
god!
on that.
You should see. Okay, let me
Yeah,
describe
please,
this.
go for
First, you
it.
have to go through Tushar's room. No, Tushar's roommate's room to get to Aman's room, and he sits in like a cave. Like it's
Yeah,
complete
absolute
darkness.
cave.
You lose sense of time of day.
Oh, yes,
And I don't know how he does it, but he needs to acclimatize to that lighting. And we just did it for 2 days, and it was disorienting.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
after coming out, we're like, oh my god, that was a full day
Yeah.
of being in the dark.
Yeah, these were like long sessions. We would start in the morning, and then the 2 days that we did, we pushed into the night around like I think 9 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
I think it compensated to you not watching the monitors on the set and just watching the monitor.
Oh,
I know,
100%.
no, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I still would have made everyone's lives easier if we had seen
Yeah.
monitors on stage, but that's a different.
That's a learning we can
Yeah.
banter about in a maybe in private. But no, one cool thing that Aman did was actually like there was toward the end, and this was like a critical shot in the film where maybe there shouldn't be any spoilers, but it was a critical moment at the end of the scene. But when we were shooting the rickshaw, we had to follow the rickshaw to get this particular shot, where the DOP Sumedh and I think one
The
of the
assistant.
and the assistant were chasing down the rickshaw with a gimbal to get the shot in a certain way. And what we didn't realize is the side of the rickshaw caught the reflection of all three, and it was very aptly written there also.
Three passengers.
Meant for three passengers,
Yeah.
and there were three people running along with the rickshaw. We thought, okay, this shot is unusable, and the problem was that was the key moment which we couldn't there was no other ending to the film.
Yeah.
We had no backup. So we came to Aman with this problem, and I didn't know what he could possibly do.
Yeah.
But actually, he solved it in a pretty clever way. So I wanted him to tell this.
I've forgotten what I did exactly.
I'll tell you
Like,
because I remember, and I remember this because I think I got Aman's contact from Tushar, and he said that this will be the right guy for coloring. And I spoke to him and I told him, listen, there is one big problem with the footage. I don't think I mentioned all the technical problems, but the only thing that mattered to us was that
From a
problem
content point of view, yeah.
that this is a shot and this is happening. And do you think you can fix it? And he was like, हाँ कर लेंगे, I think हो जाएगा.
Yeah, just
देख लेंगे.
exactly this calmness.
And I was like, okay, man, he seems pretty confident. Let's bring him on. Aman sent his contract and everything, and we did the due diligence. And then later on, when we came to his place to see the shot, I think by that time it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we're like, wait, this scene is...
Yeah, and we watched it, and I think we forgot that there was an issue with that scene.
Yeah.
Or something like that, because it was completely polished in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or blurred.
It wasn't
Blended,
blurred.
actually.
I think what he did was, I think you masked
Flicker
it.
it.
Yeah, you did the flicker
auto
detection.
का black portion where the reflections were coming.
Yeah.
And usko I just blended that portion so that the passing doesn't feel like it's passing. So
and
it's just feeling like some light is getting reflected onto it, but because it's blurry,
yeah.
you don't feel like anybody's walking. You
But
just
also
feel
she's right. You also
You did
did
a flicker detection.
deflicker.
right.
You deflickered it. Yeah.
Which was
I
very
masked
smart.
that and deflickered it.
Yeah. No, that literally saved the movie because
Really.
without this, the movie didn't have an ending.
No.
That and the other part was when Malhar gets introduced to the dance studio for whatever oversight
Oh
there
my
was.
God, yeah.
What we didn't realize, we kept making him dance around this circle, but one half of the studio was covered with light equipment. In the mirrors, we could see Tushar with his boom, me following along
my
like for whatever
God.
reason.
Yeah.
And those were like critical expressions on Malhar's face, which we needed. Otherwise, it was like that was the moment we needed to convince everyone that Malhar is actually feeling something with this dance.
Yeah.
Without that, it's like, oh wow, this guy came to a dance class, walked for 2 minutes, and then like is sold on this dance. So that also Aman managed to track and
Yeah.
Lights inside
Yeah,
the
correct.
frame.
That was the second.
there were light
big
curtains
problem, I
and
think, was.
And the skimmer was
Crew
visible.
peeking
Yeah.
through the gaps.
yeah.
We had to blur that out.
Yeah.
So those
Lot
two
of
critical
blurring.
moments, a lot of blurring.
Yeah, and these are all like because like I don't know if you've established this, but this is our proper first feature. Saya has worked on a bunch of films before.
No, as
As a-
short films and they were like school projects.
Yeah, exactly.
which, like
So as an adult and as like a proper scale up version of these things, I think this is the first one. And we did not know a lot of things. We did not think that there would be a light car worth of equipment needed to light a scene.
Yeah.
And like we first wanted to shoot it all natural light. Like हाँ natural light कर लेंगे, handheld कर लेंगे, एक gimbal से हो जाएगा, and all of those discussions. And then now looking back, I can see the importance of like a lot of these small parts that come into play. And how they are complementing for the color process, for example.
Yeah.
Why that much light is needed on set so that the bloody color comes in at the last stage. And this is all like, it was a very nurturing experience in that. And because it was all homegrown of sorts, we had like a large net to experiment and to try things, and then just to be like, okay, abhi hai ye, and Tushar, Aman and Shama, please can you guys fix it now?
Yeah. No, I think that was the thing that we loved. We loved it on two fronts. One is we had an amazing cast that were literally like without having that big monitor feedback,
Yeah.
the only feedback we had was the in-person acting, which I realize is very different from what is seen on camera. But the cast somehow managed to kind of bring that to life without much direction and much. They gave me enough good takes, let's put it that way, to make this work. And the other thing is that, like not having the technical expertise on how the lighting should be, you kind of have to trust your technical team to know what they're doing. And of course, we had our issues with the 3 different DOPs where they're different kind of more natural lighting, more very artificial lighting, one with a lot of movement. There's like very different characters to it. Then we had to rely on good editing and good color correction to sort of get that all uniform, which we lucked out with. And then sound, I think we were very lucky that Tushar kind of knew what he was doing and brought a level of professionalism and to the crew that was
100%.
more or less a novice crew.
And not just that, like I think once he came and he realized like, okay, these guys are like novice. He used to just give feedback on all the other aspects of production, which was super helpful for me. Like, and because we were like, okay, we don't know what these roles are. We don't know what a first AD does from a second AD. Why do you need 4 of them? Why do you need like, what does an executive producer really do? What do you need some other guy who's running production? Like ये सब क्या चालू है? And this guy would be like, this is why you need this. And then something would happen and something used to go south and Tushar used to pull me like, this is why you need this person. And then he was like, no, you are doing his job. You should tell him to do his job and you should do your job. Like, so that was a lot of wisdom that got, percolated through his guidance.
But I think that to that point, because you and I were running both the direction department as well as the production department, that was a challenge. And I think that's one of the biggest things I'll change next time around, like having a clear focus in one versus the other, because there are 2 competing roles, 100%. Right? Like the director in me would want maybe an extra shot or want to push the actors a little more, but the production side is like, dude, the light people have been working for like 12 hours straight, we have to end this. So it's like a competing priority that's continuously going on. So that's
and to that credit, like the light crew, for example, like they also were so gracious, because otherwise, seeing such an unprofessional crew, they could have just thrown in the towel and be like, listen boss, we're not keeping up with any of this, because hauling up gear 4 stories up and getting a constant power supply for that
that day
those
I think
lights,
pissed off a lot of people.
Is a huge task.
Somebody spilled water on laptops.
On Sumedh.
That was the least of the worries. That got fixed without a hitch.
And I think the other feedback I got from Tushar, I think it was Tushar, was I missed this. It was peak summer, heat of summer. And I decided, let me get everybody ice cream. So I got at 4 o'clock, instead of chai, I got everybody ice cream. And later on, I realized everybody was bitching about me because I did not give them their 4 o'clock chai. And I'm like, this is what I learned from Tushar. And I'm like, all right, lesson learned. No matter if I give ice cream, the chaha is a must. That is something that completely miss. I'm like, why would anybody in 42-degree weather want chaha? But it's a thing. And
Guru needs chai. Guru needs chai. They will choose whether to drink it or not, but chai needs to be there at 4 o'clock. People will drink it, 100%.
Chai is like something on which the whole sun set runs.
There's so much chai represented in Tango Malhar, from Ravi's chai scene to the 5 rupee wala chai. Then I showed this in the UK and in Germany. Afterwards, everybody was craving a chai, even the local people. So we found an Indian restaurant afterwards, and everyone's buying chai, but like $6 chai for like.